Happiest new day. I am so excited to be with you. So today we are tackling some work in the backyard that I have been putting off forever. So I think in the last video, I told you that last year I tried my hand at gardening for the very first time and things just did not go well. So this is some of the evidence right here. These are the remnants, the receipts, if you will, of what went down. So a lot of the plants back here ended up dying because one, I didn't have the time to commit after all to make sure that they were well taken care of and they were watered and fertilized and all the things. And second is that we did have a couple of freezes and I thought they were well protected and they weren't. So there were a few different things that contributed to their expiration and I am incredibly devastated, but I had to make peace with it and it's time to get all this cleaned up. And this is really just one of those tasks that I don't know if you're like me, like in my mind, I know there's something I have to do and I build it up to be this enormous thing that's gonna take forever. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I need to get that done. And before you know it, it has been a freaking year. And the thing that you need to get done still isn't done and it's a whole scene. You know what I mean? Goodness gracious. So I decided that today is going to be the day and I'm going to get outside. The weather is actually just so beautiful. It was kind of overcast this day, but it was nice and cool. So it's the perfect time to be outside. The humidity was lower. I mean, everything was working in my favor. So I knew it was now or never. And springtime is also coming. It is like a couple of weeks away, if that. And I really just want to get things nice and cleaned up and get ready and just bring in beautiful new energy, new life to everything, and just start cultivating beauty and beautiful colors and get the pollinators in, you know, all the things. I really deep in my soul want to be a little farmer, like a micro farmer. And this is where I begin. So I need to get all of this death and stuff cleaned out, all the overgrowth, the weeds, and you know, it's not going to be perfect. I don't have a bunch of tools and like the weed whacker and all the things. I just don't have all of that. And that's okay. That stuff will get taken care of later. Today is really about cleaning out the plants that are dead, getting them out of the way, getting the soil at the base of the still living plants nice and cleaned up. And later I will figure out what I want to do with the plants that are still in the land of the living. But for today, it feels so good to be out here to get this stuff just taken care of that has been on my list for the longest time. So right here, you see me like messing with the dead plants that are in these black pots. So last year I ordered these pots and I thought I'm gonna grow plants in them and it's gonna be perfect. These are gallon size and oh my goodness, when I ordered them, I'm thinking gallon, like a gallon of milk. This is sizable, it's perfect. No, these are smaller and I don't know how a gallon like computes in farmland, but it wasn't what I expected. So I ended up leaving the plants in those pots and the little pots like just cracked. It was a whole thing. So the poor pepper plants were not going to survive anyway because they were in my care and I wasn't caring for them the way I needed to, but you know, we are where we are. So in these large pots, I did have lemon trees. One of them I bought, one of them was gifted to me by my mom, and one of the freezes took them both out and I was so devastated. I actually left them in here for a year just hoping and praying that new growth would start, and alas, it did not. So we are saying goodbye to our beautiful lemon trees. I absolutely will get more lemon trees this season because citrus is my vibe. So here is the big deal for today. We are putting together a raised garden bed and I'm so excited. So these are birdie beds. I saw them on the Epic Gardening channel, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time. And so last Memorial Day, they had a huge sale and we bought like 6 of them. And again, we had all these grand plans and we couldn't commit the time because of work. And so here we are like almost a year later. So we're finally here though. And that is the takeaway, is we're finally doing it. Better late than never. What's really cool about these birdie beds is that you can construct them, I think like somewhere between 6 and 8 different ways. We are constructing them in the largest way possible, and that's just because we want to maximize the amount of garden space that we have. This could be a great idea or it could be a horrible idea. TBD. So this was actually really easy to put together. I'm glad that we did it together, because if it was just one of us, it would have taken, quite a bit longer. But it really was just get the pieces together, screw them together, and put the rubber at the top so you don't, cut your arms and your hands off, and you're good to go. So we finally placed it. This is where we think we're going to commit, or, not think. Once it's here, especially once it has the soil and the plants and all the things. Like, you're not moving this baby. It's going to be a little bit challenging to try to move it. So here it is. We're putting boxes at the bottom to create a barrier between the grass, the soil, and the plants and all the things. And I cannot remotely tell you what we're laughing about, but this is what happens all the time. It is so hard to get things done when we're doing things together, which is always, because we are constantly talking and laughing. So there's no telling what happened there, but I'm sure it was hilarity. So now we're at the point where we can put soil into the flower bed, and I'm so excited because we're just that much closer to getting our garden bed in a place where we can start putting seeds in and putting plants and all the things. So this year I am gonna work with seeds and see how that works out. Last year I bought plants from Home Depot, and it's great because you can just bring your little plant home, put it in your garden, and off you go. But it's expensive. So getting a little packet of seeds is like half the price of one of the plants, if that, and you get a ton of seeds. So this is the finished product of all of the containers or the pots that I cleaned up in one side of the yard, and it looks so much better. There's a lot of raking and stuff that has to happen, but that is for another day. I am so happy with this progress. You have no idea. And then our beautiful raised garden bed, our birdie bed. I love her so much. I cannot wait to construct the other ones and start putting the seeds in here and see these babies grow. Like, my heart is soaring. My soul is just singing. I am so excited. I am on my way to being a true legit farmer. Like, it's coming. You're gonna see. And this is our little flower bed from the last video. So I'm just giving them some water, and I'm doing this one-handed. I would typically do a much better job at this, but one hand, it's a little challenging. And now it is dinner time, and I'm so excited. We have been outside working on the yard and the garden stuff for several hours, and I am so hungry. So earlier today, I took a whole chicken, I cut it up into pieces, and I seasoned it with some salt, pepper, turmeric, garlic powder, and just left it in the fridge for a few hours. And then I took it out, let it come to room temperature, and now I'm throwing it in the air fryer. And I'm so happy because dinner is going to be super simple. I got the biggest part done, and that's just seasoning it, having it ready to go. So this is going to cook in the air fryer at 370 degrees for 30 minutes. Then I'm going to turn it onto the other side so it's skin side up. Then I'll cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes until it's done, again at 370 degrees. And then our beautiful chicken is ready to go. I cannot tell you how happy I am that I prepped in advance. I had things ready, and that making dinner is so easy after spending so much time outside and being a little bit warm and just doing a lot of manual labor that really needed to get done. But oh my gosh, I am so happy that I planned ahead. So this is our dinner. This is the chicken. We had a little bit of leftover rice and a huge salad with some cucumbers and some beautiful cherry tomatoes that are so sweet and delicious. I made this dressing that I did film, and I don't know where the footage went, so my apologies for that. But this is just some lemon juice, olive oil, salt, pepper, oregano, and I shook it up, and here we are. I am going to serve this up, just put it on the table. We're going to eat, we're going to do our little chores for the evening, get showered, and hopefully spend a little time just relaxing and enjoying the rest of the evening. I love you so much. Thank you for spending your time with me. I am wishing you all the love and magic.